Hi guys, this is Andrew and welcome back to another exciting episode of Blazing Beards. So guys, today I'm going to talk to you about an ingredient that is hyped in the beard oil industry or the beard industry. It's in conditioners, it's in balms, it's in beard oil, and it's always thought of as, hey, here's this great ingredient that I want in all of my beard oil and all my beard products. What is that ingredient? That ingredient is vitamin E. It's also called Tocopherol, and you'll see it on the label. Tocopherol is the scientific or chemical name, and vitamin E is the normal layman's name. So is vitamin E good, and is it an ingredient that you want in your beard oil and beard products? And I think the answer is yes. Vitamin E is a good antioxidant, which means it keeps oxygen out, therefore your product will stay fresh longer. It's also an anti-inflammatory. It's good for the skin. It's good for cell regeneration. And it's a vitamin, so it's by definition almost it's good. Can you have too much of a good thing? Yes, but is vitamin E overall a good thing? Yes, it is. Is it a good thing to have added to your beard oil and your beard products? I think that's debatable. Maybe if your beard products like your conditioner or your shampoo or something doesn't have any other natural oils in it, it would be a good thing, but most of them do. The most common carrier oils, jojoba oil, argan oil, avocado oil, just basically all of the oils, castor oil, they all have super high concentrations of natural vitamin E to begin with. So by adding additional vitamin E, are you really doing anything? And my viewpoint is no, you're not. You're just complicating the ingredient list and making it harder to determine whether or not you want to buy that beard oil. So why do I say that? Because tocopherol or vitamin E is confusing. There are two types of tocopherol or vitamin E. There's a natural version and there's a synthetic version. Now, I've watched on a lot of other beard tube channels or beard video channels that, this is a great ingredient, guys, and you want this in your beard oil, look for it, and if it has it, it's a good beard oil. And, guys, that's just not true. Like I said, there are two different versions, and I've seen it described as if it's tocopherol with a Y, that means it is synthetic and you don't want that in your beard. And if it's tocopherol without a Y, that means it's natural and you do want it in your beard. So basically, I disagree with just the description that tocopherol with a Y is synthetic and tocopherol without a Y is natural. Both forms, whether it's the without a Y or with a Y, can both be produced synthetically. What does that mean? To be produced synthetically means they're using a chemical process to extract the vitamin E out of whatever carrier oil it's in. So it's usually soybean oil, but it's also comes from rapeseed oil, and there's probably another one that it's common to pull it out of. But primarily it's soybean oil. And what do for the natural process? What they do is they put it under pressure, vacuum pressure, and that pressure separates the vitamin E oil from the other oils, and then they vacuum it out. And that's the natural version. The other version is a chemical distillation process where they mix it with a chemical to pull the vitamin E out. And when they do that, it leaves traces of that chemical behind. And the chemicals that they use are petroleum-based chemicals, and they are not very healthy for you. Now, in the quantities that they use, or the quantity that's left behind in the synthetic version of vitamin E, is it enough to really cause you a problem? Probably not, but why take the risk, right? So that's why people say don't use the synthetic version, just use the natural. But when I found out that the natural version can also be made synthetically, and there's no way of telling whether the tocopherol without the Y, supposedly the natural version, there's no way of telling whether it was extracted, using the vacuum method or using the chemical method. The only way to find that out would be to call the actual manufacturer that is doing the extracting. So they sell that to, of course, beard companies. And does the beard company know whether or not that vitamin E that they're getting was extracted naturally through vacuum distillation or using a chemical process? And the answer is probably not. They're just buying something, and if it does not have a Y in it, they're thinking that they're buying a natural vitamin E that has been extracted naturally. Now, maybe some of them will actually, call the manufacturer and ask them, but us as the consumer of beard products, beard oil, beard conditioner, etc., there's no way for us to know. We could call the beard oil company, but they're probably not the ones that would know either. You have to actually find out what manufacturer they're getting it from and then call that manufacturer to find out how they're doing it. And I don't think anybody wants to go to that kind of trouble to find out whether the vitamin E in their product is natural and naturally distilled or not. Now, the synthetic version, why would you put that into a beard oil? And the reason seems to be that you would put the synthetic version in because it acts as a preservative. In other words, it will make your oils last longer. Is that true? I don't think it is. Both the synthetic version of vitamin E and the natural version of vitamin E, they have basically a 2-year shelf life. So I looked up the shelf lives of all the other oils, all the major carrier oils, being the ones I looked up were jojoba, castor, avocado, argan, and I looked those up because those are the ones I use when I make my own beard oil. And all of those, except for avocado, had a 2-year shelf life, whereas the avocado had anywhere from a year to 18-month shelf life. So my view, guys, is your normal carrier oils have a 1.5 to 2-year shelf life. And if I don't use up my oil within a 1.5 years, it probably means I didn't like the mix or the scent of that oil, and I just decided I wasn't going to use it. If I wasn't going to use it, I might as well throw it away anyway. So do I want something put into my beard oil to make it last longer? If I don't like it and I'm not using it, who cares? No, I don't. So, adding vitamin E as a preservative does not make sense. Now, the other reason to add vitamin E is because vitamin E is a thicker oil. It can thicken up your, beard oil. Okay, well, you can add castor oil as well. Castor oil is a very thick oil, and it has other properties that are really good for you, including super rich in vitamin E. So why be redundant? Use the oils that you want to use for the properties that they give, whether it's thickness, whether it's for the vitamins, whether it's for antioxidation or, UV protection, whatever. Know what's in your oils and use the ones that you want to use, and most of them will have anywhere from a 1 year to a 3-year shelf life on their own, providing you don't do something dumb like stick your finger in it or take the cap off and leave it off for a couple days. And you keep it in an amber bottle, screwed closed. Your oil's going to last you a 1.5 years, and if you haven't used up your oil by then you probably don't like it to begin with. So that's my thoughts on vitamin E. Is it something that I look for when I buy a beard oil? Absolutely not. Do I have some reservations about it now after I did some research as to do I want to use something that's got vitamin E in it at all? That's not already part of the normal carrier oil. It's just added in. Do I want to use a beard oil that has vitamin E as one of the ingredients? And my view is, if it's in there, I'm not really going to care too much. But it's not something that I'm going to look for and say I'm not going to buy my beard oil unless it has that. That's definitely been kind of a fallacy that I think has enveloped some of the beard community, that this is a necessary ingredient. It absolutely is not. You get all the benefit just through your normal carrier oils, and there's really no benefit of extracting it out from one oil and then putting it in back on top of another oil. But you do run the risk of chemical contamination. So guys, I hope you found this useful. I don't like redundancy. I don't like saying, hey, I'm going to add vitamin E to something that's already super rich in vitamin E and then take additional risk. So I hope you found this useful, guys. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And until next time, guys, grow yourself a blazing beard. See ya.